we will convene representatives of all viewpoints to study the causes for the drastic rise in chronic disease.
Bobby Kennedy, obviously now in charge of HHS, and they're going to look into chronic diseases and see why we're so sick. Pretty good. Take a look.
Last Thursday, President Trump signed an executive order to establish the MAHA Commission to study what has caused the precipitous decline in American health over the past 2 generations. So we will convene representatives of all viewpoints to study the causes for the drastic rise in chronic disease. Some of the possible factors we will investigate were formerly taboo or insufficiently scrutinized. The childhood vaccine schedule, electromagnetic radiation, glyphosate, other pesticides, ultra-processed foods, artificial food additives, SSRI and other psychiatric drugs, PFAs, PFOAs, microplastics. Nothing is going to be off limits.
Megyn, you know that the meme of Ron Paul with like the laser rainbows behind him and he's dancing like it's happening? Isn't that what it feels like when you wake up now and you're like, oh, Bobby Kennedy is making sure that we're going to poison our kids a little bit less. We have competent people that are making sure the border is going to be taken care of. Like, it's happening.
Oh, I'm so excited about the MAHA stuff. That pesticide he's talking about, I never say it right, glyphosate. I can't get it, but it's on every wheat crop in America. And it's why your pasta is totally infected with pesticides, but it's not when you go to Italy. You know how you can have the pasta over there and you don't feel like Veruca Salt? No, the other one, Violet Beauregard from Wonka with like the blueberry afterward. But over here you do. It's because of that. And so why do we have to have that here? How come our wheat has it and their wheat doesn't have it? Why? Finally, you have somebody in there who's asking that question. The EMF stuff is very interesting too. This electromagnetic, like frequency, whatever, radiation. So I actually looked into this. A friend, a family member is very into this stuff and is like, you got to watch out for that stuff. Like the waves coming out of your Wi-Fi and your plugs. I'm like, she's a little, no. And then we were installing a studio down at our house at the beach, where I spend the summers. And the brain of the studio is going to go like right over where the family sleep. And I said, maybe I should just check just to make sure this isn't a thing. And I asked my doctor, he poo-poos everything, Dave. He's like, no, not a thing. No, stop it. No. We were talking before the show started about mold and exposure to mold. He's like, everybody in the jungle would be dead if mold were a thing. You don't have to worry about it. He worries about nothing. But with this, he was like, actually, there's a study. It was just published on the NIH website showing that especially with children, too much exposure to this stuff could be potentially problematic. What? It could? Why didn't the NIH make that more well known? Why wasn't the HHS putting this on blast for parents so that everybody knows that this isn't just some weird scam that freaks are into, that weird Bobby Kennedy, that kook? No, it's actually a thing. And then the other piece that I wanted to mention, Callie Means tweeted this out the other day, and Bobby promised at his confirmation hearings that he would look into this. This is one of the main reasons why I liked him, is there's a revolving door between FDA and the big drug companies. Anybody who saw the movie Dope Sick knows this. It's why, in large part, we had an opioid crisis, because the FDA, the individuals at it, were on the take with the Sacklers, with the big drug company, and refused to put the black box warning on OxyContin. And actually were telling us that it really wasn't that addictive. And then as soon as they left the FDA, where did they wind up? With that very same drug company. Well, what happened this week? Patrizia Cavazzoni, former head of the FDA's drug center, joins Pfizer as chief medical officer. This was the nation's top drug regulator last month. Immediately, she gets hired by Scott Gottlieb at Pfizer, the same guy who was running around on every television station during COVID while working for Pfizer saying the vaccine was safe, young children should have it, it should be mandated, and so on. I mean, This system is disgusting and it's corrupt. And you need somebody like Bobby Kennedy. I'm sorry. You need the guy who takes the head off the bear in Central Park. You need the weird guy who doesn't think like everybody else. He doesn't give a damn about getting your approval. He's too tan and he's weirdly fit and he's not like the others. And that's why he's perfect for this job.